Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 36 of the Nekozuki Knits podcast. My name is Katie, and today is Tuesday, July 26th, 2016, and I'm coming to you from Cochrane, Alberta, Canada. I would like to say hello to any returning, thank you for joining me over and over, hopefully, and any new viewers as well. I realized I really rushed through last week's episode and forgot to thank everybody that watches me, and I'm really sorry for that. If you guys didn't watch me, I wouldn't be recording. So thank you so much for coming back week after week and joining me. Or, like I said, if you're checking me out for the first time, thanks for joining me. All right, so let's jump right into it because I actually got lots of whips and I've only got about an hour before I have to go and pick Dallas up, and I've got a few other things to do as well. So I made myself fairly detailed notes simply because then I hopefully don't forget a lot. I'm going to start with FOs though because it's on top of my whips. I finished Dallas's contrasting socks. Obviously I need to weave in all the ends, they're a mess, but I added afterthought heels. So these were toe up, I did contrast toes and cuffs, and then I did the afterthought heels. So I actually did cut the yarn and then pick up the stitches. Well, no, I picked up the stitches and then I cut the yarn and then I knit the heel. I did, I followed Laura Linneman's afterthought heel sock mostly. Although what I did do is I did actually do 7 rows of stockinette in here before I did the decreases, simply because Dallas has got a longer foot. And I was noticing with mine that I'd done with the afterthought heels, it was just a touch too short. So hopefully that will help mitigate that. I really like how the heels, because I used the patterned yarn in the heels, how it actually patterned on the heel. It's so cool. So it would have started about there. So the patterning yarn is Arne and Carlos from Regia, their Arne and Carlos line. I don't remember anything else. I've misplaced the tag completely. And then the black that I used for the heels and cuffs, toes and cuffs, is West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply, which is a BFL nylon mix. Excuse me. Okay, now we'll go into the little whips. So I cast on, you guys have seen these before. Been working on them for a few weeks now, but I'm really enjoying them. They're the Caterpillar green yarn socks. I started down here where the marker is from last Tuesday, and I'm nearly back to this goldy yellow. Actually, that's the next color after the gray. I'm going to move up my marker. And also, sorry for all the technical difficulties last week. For some reason, I wasn't able to record it. And then I got a message on Ravelry saying that I had repeated the first section for the second section because I have to paste my sections together. So I'm really sorry if you saw that one. I fixed it on Tuesday evening, I believe, as soon as I could. But yeah, I'm very sorry for the mix-up there. It's just... apparently it was one of those weeks last week, so... Alright, so yeah, so that's Caterpillar Green. That's her Merino Twist. It's just her Merino Nylon blend. I picked it up at Knit City last year, so it's a deeper stash, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's knitting up really nice. It's a little bit heavier than most fringeings I'm used to, so that's nice too. It'll be a nice, like, bouncy sock, which is fantastic. And that's my in-spirit knit for the Knit City Cal being hosted over in the Knit City group. And I realized okay, so I knit a whole color work mitten this week because I was waiting for my sweater to dry from its blocking. And I knit it, but then it turned out that it wasn't going to work. I finished the whole hand of the mitten, and it's upstairs, but I forgot to bring it down. Sorry. But I did knit it. It's the end of May mittens. It looks really good, but I needed a higher contrast in my yarns. So it's going to be ripped back, and I'm going to repurpose the yarn into a sweater vest probably. So the other small project I'm working on is a pair of Ridged for Your Pleasure socks. Ridged for Your Pleasure socks. Which is my pattern that I just released. I'm hosting a Cal in my group, and so I wanted a pair for myself. Since the pair that I knit for the sample are actually Dallas's. This yarn is Yarn Ink in her Neon Pop. It's her sparkle base. You can see the sparkle there. And I've had this in my stash for nearly 2 years as well. So deep stash, guys. It's awesome. I love using up stash. So I'm going to move the marker up again. And this would work very well for the Canada Cal and the Ridge for Your Pleasure Cal, obviously, which I've got more prizes for as well. But for the Canada Cal in my group and everybody else's podcast groups. And then also, actually, this would work for the Knit City Cal as well, because Yarn Ink is going to be at Knit City, and I'm going to be in Knit City. So, yeah. Definitely check out all the information on all of the Cals. They're all in my podcast group on Ravelry, which there's a link in the description box for YouTube, where I link to my show notes, and that's the same group that includes all the information on the Cal as well. So that's pretty much as I'm going to talk about it, except for the couple more prizes that I got for the Canada Cal and Ridge for Your Pleasure Cal that I'm hosting in my group. Oh, and both the socks are being knit on US 1 2.25mm needles. That's part of why I finished Dallas's socks, is I needed to free up my sock needles to cast on the sock for me. Because, you know, yay! But the thing that probably got the most love this week is my sweater, guys. Okay, so the body did block out enough that it's long enough for me, thankfully. So I put on the collar, which is a garter stitch collar with an I-cord bind off. And now I'm just finishing off the pockets. I kind of wish I hadn't done the pockets just because it's extra work afterwards. I will remember that in the future. But I've got one pocket. So there's one pocket. This is hard to show. And then I'm halfway, or just under halfway done on the second pocket. I'm nearly there. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to wear it. It fits really nice, actually. I was a little bit concerned because, why was I concerned? Oh, because it turned out that the one that I was knitting was 41¼ inches at the wide bust, and I'm actually technically 42, and I fluctuate up to 43 depending on the day. And what I've eaten that week. So I was a little bit concerned there. So I did a few more rows in the garter stitch border. I pretty much actually doubled the amount of stitches. I like it though because I like the nice thick border. I like how it added a bit more to the shawl collar. And yeah, I'm really happy with it so far. It's really warm to wear because it's knit out of Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, which is a woolen spun yarn. So woolen spun yarns trap a lot of air in them because of how they're spun. And so it's really light, but it's going to be really warm, which is awesome. I'm really excited to have it for Knit City. Hopefully I won't need it too badly because I also have my wool coat there. But I will have it for October, and then I'll also have it for Japan, and it'll be perfect there because, as I remember, November in Japan was kind of miserable and cold. Rainy, definitely. So, yeah, and so the body of that cardigan is knit on US 8 5.0mm needles, and then the I-cord bind off is done in a US 7 4.5mm needles. So, yeah, just the pockets to do. I'm so excited to get it done. Okay, so I've got the extra prizes for the Canada Cals, and actually for the Ridge for Your Pleasure. So, Ancient Arts Yarns is super close to my house, and I went and visited her the other day, in part because, my club package was ready, so I went and picked it up to save her the shipping. And she ordered a bag for me as well, and I just realized that I don't have my club shipment with me. That's not a bad thing. I'm going to show that next week, simply because then if people are watching and they haven't received their packages yet, that gives it an extra week for you to receive it. Anyway, that was part of the reason I was there. And so I talked to her, and she graciously donated 2 prizes, one for each Cal that's in my group right now. So for the Canada Cal, I picked out an 8-ply cable heavy fingering sport. This is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it is in the Vancouver colorway. I figured that is very fitting for the Canada Cal. I think this was dyed for Knit City a few years ago, because they get a custom yarn done every year. Anyway, it's a gorgeous skein, guys. If you are into Vogue knitting, this 8-ply cable is actually what the stacked stitch cowl. Anyway, the cover project is out of this yarn. Not these colors, it's actually purple and gray, but it's this base. So I got that for the Canada Cal, so that's a prize. So we have 3 skeins of yarn and 2 bags for the Canada Cal. So definitely come over and enter, because we have some fabulous prizes, that being one of them. And then for the Rich for Your Pleasure one, I've decided that I'm going to offer a small wedge bag for a prize, and then also we've got a skein of Ancient Arts, and this is in the Stargazer, and also on the same 8-ply cable base, and it's a little bit more very nice pinks and going into like a burgundy maroon, so it's really nice. So you guys come over and enter the cowls, because there's awesome prizes. So yeah, that's what I got for those. And then definitely check out the Knit City Cal, which is being hosted in the Knit Social group, or not Knit Social, it's being hosted in the Knit City Vancouver group, because that made more sense. I'm just hosting it for you guys. So Make Things Club, Loose Pages and Romperlust. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but your authenticity shawl is gorgeous, and you're very welcome that I'm hosting this. I was approached a few months ago, and I'm more than happy to help. So then the other super exciting thing is actually what I've read this week. So what I've been reading this week, actually what I read this week first, is The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh. This is the sequel to The Wrath and the Dawn, and I loved it. I can't recommend these books highly enough. Definitely older teen, but really, really, really good. I love the cover on both of them. This one's really cool too, because when you open them up, they're like, yeah. Oh, it's so good, guys. I think this might have been the stronger of the two. It was a little bit more original. The first one is a retelling of 1001 Nights. I do pick up on elements of East of the Sun, West of the Moon, which is retelling of Beauty. Well, no, it's oh, what would you call it? It's not a retelling. It's another iteration of Beauty and the Beast. Very similar. It's closer to the Cupid and Psyche story than it is to Beauty and the Beast. But anyway, the quest elements in this reminded me of East of the Sun, West of the Moon, which is an old fairy tale. But yeah, definitely go read it. It's an older teen book. Nothing explicit, but definitely an excellent read. So I'm reading, or I finished that. Honest, like I got it from the library in the afternoon, evening, and I sat down and had finished it by 2:30 the next morning. And that was really a bad idea for my cold, but fantastic idea for my book. And also for my sweater, actually. That's the night that I knit the collar and bound off. So I was reading that while I was doing the I-cord bind off, because, well, yeah, I knit half the collar and the I-cord bind off while I was reading that. So that tells you how long that actually took to knit that collar too. Then the other one I'm still reading is The Emperor of the Eight Islands by Leanne Hearn. It's book 1 of the Tale of Shikanoko. And yeah, not much to say about this one yet. I'm about halfway through at this point. I'm not enjoying it as much as this last series, but I'll still be purchasing the rest of them and finishing off the series, because I'm interested enough to do that. And yeah, not much more to say about that one. Another teen book. Definitely older teen with that one. The Rose and the Dagger it's got some suggestive scenes, but nothing explicit. Excuse me, this Emperor of the Eight Islands, I would say older teens, simply because of a little bit of gore, and a little bit more explicitity. A little bit more explicit, but not too bad. Not as much as like that Kingdom of Small Wounds. I was in chapters the other day and I saw it sitting on the shelf in the young adult section, and I'm just like, that really shouldn't be here, honest. Anyway, so that's what I've been reading or read. So this week I've been sick. I've actually been really sick. This cold, well, not really sick, but this cold's made me really tired. It's like zapped all my energy. So I really haven't been doing much. And it was also really busy. Like, I ended up seeing Caroline with Ancient Arts. And then, so I had to sew her bag and then go see her. And then went and saw her. Not had to go see her, but I went and saw her, which was very enjoyable. I really enjoyed that afternoon. And then I had other stuff happen. Like, I saw a friend that I haven't seen in a year, which was awesome. And then I went out with a friend to the Sephora VIB event, which was being held in Calgary. And they did our hair and a little bit of makeup, which was really fun. If you were following me on Instagram, you saw the braid that I got done. It was really cute. Really good event. It was really well put together. They had really good food, and like juice and actual champagne. So they were doing mimosas because it was Sunday. And yeah, it was just really enjoyable and really good raffle prizes too. So I'm hoping that they continue that and that my friend continues to take me, because she's definitely the one with the privileges with that, because I don't wear makeup enough, so I don't purchase enough to actually qualify for the program. But it was really fun. And oh, I started a D-stash on Instagram. So under Nekozuki Knits D-stash, which I'm going to try and insert here, you can find a bunch of fabrics and needles that I'm destashing right now. I'm destashing fabrics that I just I purchased at a different point in the business, and I'm just not going to use. Nothing wrong with them. They're all brand new. They have been pre-washed, so that means that they're also pre-shrunk, so that's a step you don't have to do. Neither Dallas and I smoke, so they're from a smoke-free but cat-friendly home, which means that they've likely crawled on it at some point. But obviously you can wash it again and everything like that. So that's all posted on Instagram under Nekozuki Knits D-stash. And there's not going to be a lot more fabric right now going up, but there might be some other things as I come across it. All of the money from this actually goes towards Japan. So if there's anything you want, definitely I would suggest to go take a look. There's a lot of flannel, because I purchased a lot not realizing that it was flannel. I thought it was cotton. And then there's a bunch of like yardage, decent yardages. Okay, and then that brings me to shop news. So besides the D-stash, I've been experimenting and prototyping a few more bags still. I'm trying to do this now instead of like 2 weeks before Knit City, which is a smart plan on my part, hopefully. Because I have so many of the wedge and box bags right now, I am trying to focus more on new products, which are going to include obi bags, which they're exactly what they sound like, I hope. They are bags made out of obi I purchased while in Japan, and I've cut the pieces up so that you get a bag made out of an obi or out of pieces of an obi, depending. Lots of these ones should still be silk, and I'm not sure how those will stand up to washing, so they will all be dry clean, simply because water can stain silk. So I did that. I've made a couple different versions of it. I did a small box bag the other day, which turned out amazing. I love it so much. So cute. And you'll get to see these all before Knit City, don't worry, or before my next shop update, which I'm hoping I should be able to do one in mid-August. I haven't been able to make enough in the last few weeks to do anything, but I'm thinking mid-August should give me enough time, and then that'll give me 6 weeks before Knit City to really focus my attention on making for Knit City. I did get all the big bags cut though that I'm going to take, so their outsides are cut, their exterior, interior fabrics are cut, and then they get 2 layers of interfacing. The interfacing is actually the most it's not difficult, it's just kind of annoying. Because it's not quite, like, it's like 42 inches or something like that, so it's not quite, yeah, it's odd, it's an odd width, so it's hard to cut bag amounts out of it unless I'm doing certain, like, certain projects fit, some don't, so it's, yeah, it's interesting some days because it's an industrial roll of interfacing. And I just realized I did actually get some stash enhancement for the shop. Stash enhancement. I'm upgrading my tools. So I've got a pair of ginger shears. And I love them. I was going through and reading a whole bunch of reviews because I'm like, I probably do need a pair of actual, like, really good scissors. Because I've been using the same scissors for the past 4 years and they're still good, but they separate towards the end as I'm cutting stuff, and they've got padding in here, and that's wearing out. And they were super cheap. I think I spent like $10, 10 or 20. Anyway, I went to Michael's after I saw Caroline and used a coupon. I got these at half price, which was fantastic. It worked out perfect. I was going to buy them anyway, but getting it with the coupon was even better. So, yeah, there's not much more happening. I really should go now and get this pieced together and pieced together properly. And then, yeah, I'll see you all in a week. I will have a cardigan by that point, I hope, and some other knitting projects to show you. Make sure to come over to the group and enter the cals that are occurring there, because there's lots of fantastic prizes, as you saw. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. You can always find me on Instagram and on Ravelry. You can ask either place. So thanks so much and have an awesome week. Bye!